He banished all the doubt. Now I have nothing to talk about. Good morning. So, thank you for the reading. That was also selected for you, and Damien brought it home with the power of his word. I could feel him channeling Ernest Holmes. So I want to first start by thanking Diane and Chris for, they've developed this idea of creating more music in our community. And the kickoff was with Narayan and Janet, and thank you. They were here Friday night, and it was just so unique. And then they did a 2-hour meditation and chanting yesterday, and it was mesmerizing. The time went by like it was 5 minutes. And so whenever I prepare for talks, I ask the divine to remind myself to be the channel of this grace, of the words that I need to hear, we need to know. And all that I could receive all night long was, I am the bubble, make me the sea. It was like, it was one of the chants that we did yesterday. So I'll just put that in your head out of mine. You're the bubble, make you the sea. Once you've got that, you're immersed in the divine. But thank you. And there's more to come, right? Lots more to come throughout the year. So don't miss it. It's music speaks more than word. It's like poetry. So, Banishing Doubt is the theme that we're moving into, with, still honoring the book of Wayne Dyer with your sacred self, making the decision to be free. Sacred self, the soul self, the seed self. And I really appreciated Greg Lavoie last week, and if you didn't get a chance to hear his profound message of the callings, which when you first hear that word, doesn't it sound like, what am I supposed to be in my world, the callings? It really is listening to the divine, listening to the still small voice. So that will be on the YouTube, so watch for that, for the Greg Lavoie if you missed it by any means. But I share this Rumi quote with you to start off our message today. Come, come, whoever you are. Even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times, come yet again. Come. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love. Come, come. Let yourself be pulled by what you really love. Think about that. And are we pulled by love, or are we pulled by fear? And so in connecting the message of the callings and to listen to that still small voice, it is the demon of doubt that we face today in small ways. Many of us have been on the spiritual journey for a long time, so get thee behind me, doubt. Get thee behind me. Let me remember who I am, and let me not forget who I am. Ernest Holmes says these very words. We say to doubt, where did you come from? Who is the father of you, this doubt? You have no place in my mind. Can you feel that? Just hands on hips, grounded feet. Doubt, you have no place in me. Get thee behind me. How dare you doubt? And then you realize, well, why am I following that? What am I doubting? The still small voice within me is only love. It only speaks to me in love. Ernest Holmes says there's no compromise with consciousness. Consciousness, let us know as we share our time together. Let the words for the divine be your word. Transfer the words I use to the words that speak to your heart. If God or the divine or consciousness aren't your words, stay in the mystery. Stay in love. Stay in nature. Name that which opens your heart to the divine. So This is what I found so interesting in reading Wayne Dyer's work. Listen to this. Because we know that this teaching is asking us to explore our belief system. There's one step further here. What is your truth? Right? What's your truth? Not what do you believe. What we believe can sometimes pick up the stink of doubt. But what we truly know as our truth, it is because we embody it, we have experienced, and we absolutely know it. Now that was a key message for me, like a hammer over the head, because in counseling and ministerial, So in ministerial counseling, that has often been the question to me. I don't get what God is. And we have this lovely class going on right now about belonging to God, and we open up that question. What is God? How do you belong to the divine? What is the divine? And then I realized, as much as we share about this, it is a belief that we're sharing that another person's hearing because we're sharing a belief from our truth. And if they don't have that, if they haven't experienced that, they're longing to have that experience, to embody it. And when we can transmit that idea, I love the idea of transmission because this is what all the great masters, all the great mystics have developed, that quality of, I don't know, but God knows, and I don't know, but the mystic knows, and let it be the transmission of that truth, right? Let it be that I walk away today, I know what God is. God is, and I am that truth. And we feel the sense of empowerment as this grace of suddenly knowing, that shift, that wake up to the divine. So, first, we have to know our personal truth. So I invite you to settle with that. Well, what is my truth versus what is my belief? Remember, this is different. Truth is different than a personal idea of a belief, because our beliefs are what can limit us, but truth sets you free. Every scripture, every divine truth, when you embody it, it sets you free. Now, our Twyla is teaching a class on what happens to the soul? What is the soul? What is this experience after death? Now, because some of the people in the class have had near-death experiences, they're right on line with what Twyla's saying, because they can embody it. Others of us are going, wow, a cool story. I haven't had that. Is that true? And so we're speaking, we have in the room truth from what somebody has experienced and beliefs, circling around that, waiting for that moment of transmission where we are set free into the idea of an absolute truth. So it's a real interesting meditation for you to ponder, and we're going to do that at the close of this message together. Doubt limits us. Doubt is what is limiting us. Because remember this, as you think, so shall you be. We can't afford to have our thoughts dictated by doubt. So, again, Ernest Holmes asks us, where does this voice of doubt come from? As we embark on a journey to know the sacred self, we know that we are guided by something higher, some higher knowing, some mystery. We must know that. How else can we understand that gravity holds us on the earth? Wouldn't that be weird if all of a sudden we thought, oh, what if all of a sudden gravity didn't work? What would happen? What would happen if these natural forces, these natural amazing laws of nature, what if we didn't trust that? And so we realized there is a level of trust just being born into this human being body. That we trust in that, this divine intelligence that tells our heart to beat, that tells us how to take what we feed our body and to recreate cells and bones and blood. So there's a level of trust right there. We establish ourselves in the intelligence of the divine. It is that, and it is so much more. That is on just that one level, so let us know it at a divine level. Let us dance with the divine, knowing that we are guided always by this higher knowing, that still small voice, the callings of the divine. So we pluck out the seeds of doubt. We pluck them out. Where did they come from? I look at my own sometimes when I feel the doubt of not being good enough. I think some of you might share that one time or another. I'm not good enough, but the what ifs. And it goes back to the innocence of the baby. I was born a baby with deformities, and I was born a baby that was sick all the time, and they had to travel, and I can imagine they wanted to pinch my head off because I was crying all the time. I had an earache. This is what I'm told. So I'm fed this idea of not being quite good enough, not being quite good enough as my older sister, but loved nonetheless. They didn't mean to put that on me, but you pick it up. You pick it up as you go through your life. And so when you think, I'm going to push myself, I'm going to do this, and then the doubt just, but remember, you're not quite good enough. And I think no more. One of my favorite talks ever was when a minister delivered the message from Bob Newhart in the skit of Stop It. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you go onto YouTube and you find that Stop It. Because Bob Newhart is telling the client, I can heal you in just 2 words, it's just $5. And she goes, really? $5? I'm in. So she starts telling her story, and he's listening. He just says, okay, are you ready? She gets out her notebook, and he goes, you don't need to write it down. Stop it. And he goes on in that. It is so dang clever, but it's so dang true, right? Stop it. If doubt comes, stop it. Get thee behind me. I don't have time for this. The still small voice of the divine, of the love that dwells within me, as me, is calling me. And I have work to do. I have transmissions to do. I have love to give. I have a planet to heal. I have work to do. I don't have time for that small stuff. And so when it says that feeling of not good enough, not anymore, not anymore. And sometimes when we find the seeds of our doubt, when we find the seeds of a part of our nature and our upbringing, we can kind of use it as an excuse. I was in swimming lessons and advanced beginners in the deep end. And I was trying to pass the test of having the paddleboard in front of me and kicking my feet across the water. For some dang reason, I couldn't do it. I just was paddling. I'm still at the start, paddle. And so I made it about 4 feet, and I still had this big journey, and everybody's just waiting. I'm the only one in the pool, and they're waiting. So I thought, I'm not good enough here, so I'm going to pretend I'm having a foot cramp because I have deformed feet. Oh, I can't go any further. I totally faked it. And I'm sure it was obvious because when you're 10, you're not that great of an actress. But I got out of it. So I'm thinking, interesting when I thought about this as I was preparing this talk. Do we sometimes use those excuses? Do we? To not follow the divine call? Just ask yourself that for your own. I'm not a sickly baby anymore. I stand on my 2 feet. I stand strong. We all do. Whatever it was before, it is no more now. Because the divine love, the spiritual intelligence, has worked you as a tool, as an instrument. This spiritual universe that is revealed in physical knowing, it's been spontaneous emergence, it's been spoken as. An evolution of inner force. Nothing can exactly be proved or explained, but there, as Chris spoke so eloquently in his treatment, we call upon faith, because faith is an intelligent principle. It is what gives us life. This intelligent principle tells us when to breathe, how to pump the blood, and how can we possibly again doubt that. The mind we have is one with this universal mind of intelligence. And this universal intelligence is what is holding our whole universe together. Life, our word is drawing upon this source. It is the power between all the mystery of all the things. Let us recognize as we walk out of here today, I am the bubble, make me the sea. You are that. I am the wave, make me the ocean. You are that. Make me where I have felt small. Let me be immersed in the divine grace. And let me now transmit love into all those that pass me, that know me. There's a powerful knowing that Ernest Holmes shares on faith revealed. And he says, know your own mind. Train yourself to think what you wish to think. Be what you wish to be, feel what you wish to feel, and place no limit on this principle. The words with which you speak would be just as powerful as the words that Jesus spoke. If you would know your word was the law whereunto it was sent, but you must know this within and not merely accept it with your intellect. You must embody it. You must know it at the cell level. If you have reached a point where the inner consciousness believes, then your word is simply an announcement of what is real. Know without a shadow of doubt that as a result of your prayers, some action is taking place in the infinite mind. I love the way Chris closes his prayer, into the loving arms of this divine grace. It is done. So we recognize that in the infinite mind there is the actor and you are the announcer. If you have a vague, subtle, unconscious fear, be quiet and ask yourself, who am I? Who is this? What am I? Who is speaking? Don't let the doubt have anything to latch onto. What is my life? In this matter, think right back into the principle until your thought becomes perfectly clear again. You see, when doubt comes, you don't let it linger. You kick it out right away. Get thee behind me. Stop it. Such is the power of right thinking. It cancels and erases everything unlike itself. It answers every question, solves every problem, is the solution to every difficulty. It is like the sunlight of eternal truth, bursting through the clouds of obscurity, bathing all life in glory. It is the absolute with which you are dealing. All there really is good. Emma Curtis Hopkins. It's all good. Let us raise our consciousness into that knowing to banish all doubt. So in your practices, in your spiritual practices, in your meditations, you want to take each day, give yourself a little time to do an inventory and to let go of what's not true and establish yourself in the light of knowing what is true. Let go of doubt. And doubt could look like worry. Doubt can look like mistrust. It can look like suddenly you're in a place of judgment and condemnation. So move yourself back into the light of the grace, knowing that everything is a divine expression, really, of life, beauty, wholeness. anything that constricts this, anything that constricts you in this knowing, and here's the grace of the beautiful body, it will constrict and it will become small, and you will know that you're walking in the land of doubt. So you release into this knowing as you open and say, I am receiving the truth. I am embodying truth. So we're going to do a meditation now, and I'm going to invite the sound team to play a beautiful background of just some stringed instruments that I play a lot in yoga, so some of you that come to the yoga class will feel the familiarity of this song. But take the time to posture yourself now. You see, when we're called into spiritual practice, there is a dignity that we place into our body. We want to be the divine conduit. We want to align ourselves with the light of the truth. So we feel ourselves open up the shoulders, lift up our heart, take a deeper breath, and remember the divine intelligence taking care of us as we take that journey in. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, look up. Look up and focus. And as you follow the meditation, and I bring you this from a woman named Sarah Blondin, beautiful, beautiful message. I would invite you to take your left hand and just rest it on your heart space so that you can remind yourself, I am choosing now to feel. I am sorting through, noticing any state of fear or doubt, what I feel like in this body. And as I breathe, I recognize what has been stagnant, what has been blocked. Life is an eternal flow, so I'm opening. I am humble. I am opening. And I can feel it in my heart as the chambers of my heart quicken, knowing that I am listening. Any boundaries I have blocked my way and confined my way suddenly disappear. Off my shoulders, off my back. Where there has been tension or sorrow, I go deeper. I am choosing to go towards the life force, to be filled with the divine light of knowing my directions. When I feel any tension, I pause and let it go. I'm allowing this eternal flow of life to lead me with hands of faith to the glory of the divine. I am right there. And as I whisper these words, as I speak these words, say them to yourself. I love you. I love you. I am listening. When is the last time? When is the last time you gave to yourself what you have been giving tirelessly to others? I love you. I am listening. What happens? Do you feel the vulnerability of truth breaking you down? I love you. I am listening. What's coming up for you as you touch the heart? As you touch the heart of the unstoried self. Think about that. The highest self. the sacred self. Feel it beating, calling you, I love you, I am listening. This gentle love, this gentle light. This space in you has no self-image, no egoic identity. It's just beautiful and pure. You are connecting. This is spiritual practice. You are connecting. This is the divine. I love you. I am listening. I am connecting. This is the most tenderest moment. I am speaking to my forgotten self. I love you. I am listening. You are my true nature. I have been trying to fill a hole, and now I stand full in the heart of my being. I am not separate from this now. I love you. I am listening. I am floating. What was empty is now full. I am putting together all the pieces of my inner self that has been divided. I am in love with this deep self. As I breathe, I recognize I am swimming in this divine love. Oh, my dear, I love you. I am listening. I suddenly feel that I am one. I trust in this knowing that I am one. I meet you here. You have been forever loving me. I now receive all that I felt I lack. I am listening. I love you. Do you see? We are now living in the space between two selves. We are fully there. And you take your other hand and you rest it on the belly. And you know this belly, this soft, yielding belly. We feel the absolute connection. I love you. I am listening. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I get it. The divine self dwells in me as me. I love you. I am listening. I'm not afraid. I am full. I am the bubble, make me the sea. I am the bubble, make me the sea. Always love. Always. And so